We have all sorts of interesting products up here. Can you explain the technology and what's going on here?
Sure. First, thank you for having me. Super excited. So actually, I think sometimes it's easier to start with what the technology will do, and then I'll explain how it works. So imagine a world where you no longer feel anxiety about leaving your home if your cell phone battery is under 10%. Right? Like, just imagine that, right?
I can't.
I know. Imagine a world where you're not planning your day and your life based off of that little battery symbol on all of your technology. And I mean, ultimately, imagine a world where everything we're thinking about creating and everything we're thinking about putting into this world from a technology perspective, that's actually 100% a freeing experience versus something that is almost imprisoning because it's tethering us to the wall even more. And so that's what Uncharted Play is hoping to bring about. We want to be playing a very important role in making that imaginary world a reality in the next 3 to 5 years. And so what my company is an energy company. We make energy-generating products. We developed a technology platform, a customizable technology platform that can harness power from 3 different types of motion: rotational, like things in wheels; linear compression, like floor panels and furniture; and sliding, like wearables. And we can then integrate this microgenerator seamlessly into different products and actually be able to harness the power of motion from normal use, amplifying existing behavior, to create this power all around us. So that instead of having this hoard and save mentality, you have this kind of continuous and on-demand experience. The more you live and move through your life, the more you're just getting the power that you need from every touch point in your life.
So you could be pulling the luggage through the airport and powering your cell phone at the same time.
Literally. So for example, here we have 2 more micro generators in each, one in each wheel. And so as you're rolling, it's generating power at around, average walking about 3 to 6 watts. Generating power from a wall is about 5 watts. So in some scenarios, we're actually charging your cell phone faster than what it would be if you were just kind of doing that weird thing at the airport where we all crowd around that one pole and just not really talk to each other, but we're just getting what we need. Yeah. You don't have to do that.
You can just walk around.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you have products coming out, I guess, in 2017. Strollers. You have a jumping rope there. This is something that we're going to see. You're not able to announce which products yet, apparently, but we're going to see more of this pretty soon.
Yeah, so we're a B2B company. We develop this technology and customize it for our partners. So we go to people who already make amazing suitcases and floor panels for different types of infrastructure and strollers and whatnot. And then we actually integrate it into their products, and then we have to follow their product release timing. But we have some really cool partners that we're working with right now that are going to be releasing some very awesome things over the next year.
So I understand this all happened with a brainwave you had in Nigeria, which is where your family's from, watching a boy play soccer. And the original idea was to create a soccer ball that could create kinetic energy and light for people to read with. And I want you to explain this, because apparently you corrected President Obama when he didn't explain this the right way.
Yeah.
So why don't you go?
Sometimes I wonder why I'm not married, and then I'm like, well, I do things like that. So, I mean, I'm only 28. I still have time.
I think the prospects are pretty good.
But yeah, so what's funny, I think, about this story for me is that I've been doing it in some form for almost 10 years, but it wasn't like 10 years ago I was like, I know, I'm going to build an energy company that democratizes energy access worldwide. I was literally just like, I would really like it if my cousins in Nigeria did not have to develop lung cancer when they're trying to live their lives.
Because of generators.
Because of using kerosene lamps and generators. The WHO says that living with a kerosene lamp is like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. So energy is a worldwide problem, and in some areas it's more dire than in others. And so the first invention, the first product was an energy-generating soccer ball, something that takes the most popular sport around the world and actually allows people to play the way they want to play, harnessing that kinetic energy and storing it inside of the ball so they can use it as an off-grid power source. And the jump rope that I have here does essentially the same thing. This is my personal jump rope. I use it every single day.
I agree with Jessica that she did not have to jump rope in front of us.
Yes, but if anyone wants to see me after, because I have a few cool moves. But again, it's the same thing. You can just jump rope, and each one of these handles has one of our rotational more pieces. And then with just minutes of jumping, you can get hours of light. And these are amazing, and thank you. Thank you. And these are amazing in communities where they don't have reliable access to power. But not just that, from a more humanistic, psychological perspective, these people have lost the hope and the belief in thinking that the future could hold anything else better than what they currently have. And I think that's really where the innovation came from. How do you combine what's working and what's not working and create technology that makes us more human, that makes us feel like we're more involved in creating the future that we want. And doing so through motion and through play just made sense.
Mm-hmm. Now, are these being used now in Nigeria and throughout the developed world, or is this something that you hope to introduce there?
No, yeah. So we've distributed in the last year over 50,000 socket balls and jump ropes. That's mostly in Nigeria, where we do a lot of work, but also in other communities in Brazil, Liberia, Kenya. We're actually working with the White House on a program in Swaziland as well. So we've learned a lot, and it was a great experience because we own the full supply chain on these products. And once you spend enough time in Shenzhen with everyone thinking that you're Serena Williams and you just being like, can you just get my stuff made on time? Call me whatever you want to call me, as long as it's on time. Then all of a sudden you can walk into a room with a major OEM and say, I understand what you need this technology to be. I understand what you're going through. And I think that's what really made this innovation in terms of our more platforms so exciting, because it's not, I don't think particularly, I mean, I'm a self-taught Mechie. I like to pretend that I'm like the perfect balance between Bill Nye the Science Guy and Beyonce. Like I'm in it. Like I'm obsessed with supply chain in the weirdest ways. And I don't think that it's particularly exciting to think about putting a dynamo in a wheel or a dynamo even in a floor panel. What makes it exciting is that we've developed a technology that makes it cost effective to do so while it's still efficient. Mm-hmm. Even our floor panel, for example, so this is, you can have interchangeable pieces. What we actually designed here was a modular system that allows us to customize at a low cost, while still, in some cases, in terms of efficiency, being 7 times as efficient as solar, and installation costs at 1/4 the cost of solar.
So just stepping on a floor.
Just stepping, yeah. So like this, for example, here has those pieces in here, and then just stepping, this is set up for light, immediately sends an impulse. And imagine harnessing that to power ubiquitous Wi-Fi in an airport, or to power in your home the lighting. And so it's something that wasn't easy before to do at scale, but with the way we've developed our technology, you can not only do it cost effectively, but also in a way that can actually really influence entire infrastructural developments.
Now, I must say, you're being a bit modest. You went to Harvard and you got an MBA at Harvard, so you may be self-taught as an engineer, but you kind of left that part out.
That's true. I mean, I also have Nigerian parents and they require, people talk about tiger moms, but then it's like Nigerian moms are like tiger moms on, like, just amplified. And my mom she still wishes I would get my JD, because she thinks that just having my undergrad and my MBA is not enough, and she's not that impressed by all of this. She says, which kind Google Zeitgeist? What is this Google Zeitgeist? What is Zeitgeist? I beg, please, get your JD. Or I'm like, Mom, please. I think we're doing okay.
You're on the verge of something interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you decided to base your company in New York, and specifically in Harlem.
Yes.
You were telling me yesterday what you hope to build there, and I thought that'd be interesting to share quickly.
Yeah, it was really important for me, when we closed the round, to move to Harlem, because one, when I was building this company, it didn't escape me that I'm very different from what people would consider the classic tech CEO. And that in some ways scared me. I remember talking to one VC that I'm actually very close with right now, the people on that team, and I was like, I'm I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. Like, what if something goes wrong? What if I don't, figure something out? Like, are you guys really gonna have my back? And I remember he didn't even stutter. He was like, Jessica, Mark Zuckerberg couldn't create the socket. Your personal experiences, all the things that make you think that you're unlikely to be in this space, that's what allows you to see the way these pieces of technology should be created and the world of people who look like you and don't look like you that are going to get something out of it. It's a new and fresh perspective. And when I heard that, I realized, okay, even though everything that happened to me from where I grew up to where I've gone to school to even what I studied didn't seem to be the classic background, it did bring me here. And so I should double down on who I am authentically to see where this is going to take me, no matter where it takes me. And so what's exciting about Harlem is that it's becoming a community for the underdog, for women, for people of color, for members of the LGBT, for anyone who feels a little bit different, to kind of come together and say, well, let's see what our ideas can bring about. We're talking about the future, right? And the future is going to belong to those who haven't had a voice in the past. And the smartest thing for every company and for every body, it doesn't matter what your gender or ethnicity or what it is to think about how do we harness those previously unheard voices. And so for me to be there and have this really amazing, diverse team just kind of being exposed to everyone in the world, what makes Harlem so cool is that everyone, when we used to live downtown, you'd see maybe 2 types of people living their life in like really the same way. Uptown, you'll see 7 types of people living their lives in 14 different ways. You'll see your rabbi on the corner of 96th. You see the guy who cuts your hair on 125th, and you're talking to all of them. And so imagine when my engineers and designers are just going from the coffee shop to their lunch spot to the office, what they're being exposed to and what they can create.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks. Thank you.